Guys.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Darius Hurst Rodney. I am certification coordinator here at the Eastern Minority Supplier Development Council. Today, we have a very special MBE producing his product and going to be telling you more so about his product, Mr. Manish Gorawala. In the meantime, prior to this, I do want to share with you that we will be having a few events that will be coming up here in the near future. We will be having a super matchmaker on January the 28th, as well as an event at the Convention Center of Philadelphia on December the 16th. You can go to our website to find any of these things under events, and that's emsdc.org/emsec-events. If you would like, those have just been added to the chat. I'm not going to take up too much of your time, as I know Manage has something very important he would like to share with you. So, without further ado, please take it away.
Great. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Manish. And first of all, I would like to thank EMSDC and the team, who works very hard for MBEs. And I would like to welcome all of you for your time and listening about what we have developed that would make your process more, make you guys more efficient, save time and money in managing the RFP process for from the buyer's perspective as well as suppliers. So as we all know, procurement today is slow. It's very scattered and manual, right? Either on the buyer side as well as on the supplier side. And we're gonna talk about how the AI-based innovative platform that we have developed that would help the buyers as well as suppliers. And then the reason behind why I decided to develop this is that I come across many SMBs like myself, some buyers from the enterprise side or the government agency side. They are still operating a lot of these processes manually. On the supplier side, a lot of the SMBs, they don't have the resources to hire full-time proposal writers. They don't have the funding or the resources to respond to all these RFPs, complex RFPs, right? And my whole purpose is to give them the tools so they can respond to these opportunities and don't leave the money on the table, or don't leave the opportunities on the sideline. At least they have the ability to stand in line and respond. Okay. So again, the current market reality, it's slow, manual. That is on the buyer side. It's inconsistent evaluation process for standardizing in scoring, evaluations, and that leads to poor decisions and increased risk exposure from the buyer's perspective. Compliance gaps exist from both sides. From supplier side, when they are responding to proposal, they miss out on submitting certain required information that buyer has asked them to submit. And on the buyer side, they also need to make sure that all the buyers have submitted what was asked in the RFP or solicitation. And on the supplier side, it's missed opportunities, delays, inefficiency, and eventually lost revenue, right? So now the supplier side, another pain points are that majority of the suppliers, they are spending a lot of time on repetitive work, on putting together the proposals with no content library. Means they are starting from scratch every time, wasting valuable resources, missing deadlines, and that results in low win rates and then inconsistent response as well. And these are the pain points exist today on the buyer side, as far as current procurement cycle. For example, right now we are working with the utility industry, where with the growth of AI, they're gonna have tremendous needs to put out the procurement for purchasing the energy from the energy producers. And their current cycle is about 18 months. And currently we are working with the subject matter experts and who will be, kind of working with us as a implementation, value-added implementation partner, where they will be able to streamline that process from 18 months to 4 months using our platform. And same, as you can see here, there's also an issue with collaboration while putting together bid solicitation package. Majority of the communication is happening over emails, not able to maintain the version control, limited visibility, right? And also on once they receive the responses from the supplier side, the evaluation challenges, and then compliance and diversity, engaging the diverse suppliers, etc. So the solution is RFP360.ai. So our solution allows them to quickly put together the AI driven response. They can analyze quickly what buyer is asking for rather than manually going through all the buyer's documents to figure out the requirements. They can do bid, no bid, decision making quickly rather than spending hours and hours or days. They can do it in hours, or minutes, right? They can organize their content library, relevant to their capabilities. They can upload and populate their supplier profile within our platform, and it gives them the centralized response hub where they have ability to manage all the different opportunities that they are responding to as a supplier, and then monitor and manage all those activities, measure the ROI across their team members, proposal assembly, go no go metrics, etc. And I'll show that in demo very shortly. Same thing on the buyer side. Our platform allows them to put together and author the bid solicitation, drafting that RFP document, ability to upload other supporting documents. They can set the evaluation criterias, and then once they receive the responses using our AI platform, they can do the scoring, and they can also do the collaboration with other team members within the procurement team, and they can also run some analytics, etc. Right, and I will show all these capabilities within our platform how it works. So again, I already went through majority of these capabilities as you can see here, but what you get is the reduced cycle times, improved consistency, enhanced compliance, better collaboration, and data driven decision, on both the sides, buyers and suppliers. And our platform is the only platform which brings the buyers and suppliers together, and then they can also use separately as well, but our platform can be also used in conjunction with buyers and suppliers as well. And what are the measurable impact? 70% faster RFP creation, 50% improved win rates, 60% reduced cycle time, and 100% audit compliance. And our plan of model is also very flexible. There is a free trial on both sides, buyer and supplier, to try out our platform, and then it is either per RFP project pricing or monthly subscription. And then for enterprise, we also have the enterprise licensing and some integration support that you may need. We can help you with that as well. So, so this is part of my presentation that I have prepared for the webinar. And now I will go through the demo, and I will stop here for any questions before I start my demo, or you can hold off your question until I finish my demo. Whatever. Meg, what do you think? You wanna? Hello?
Yeah, I think if anybody has questions, they can raise their hand and I'll unmute them, or they can enter it in the Q&A and we'll get to it at the end.
Okay, great. So now I will uh, share my screen. You can see my screen, right? Hello?
Yes, I can
Hello?
see it.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay, great, great. Okay, so like I said, this platform can be used as a buyer and supplier. And first, I will give you guys the quick demo of how you can use the platform as a supplier. And like I said, you can start the free trial and create your account as a buyer or supplier. And you can also request for detailed demo, if you want to arrange one along with your other team members. So we can also, uh, support that as well. So right now I'm going to log in as, my Triforce Consulting Services account as a supplier. And so I have already created my account. And once I log in, then on the left hand side, these are all the capabilities and features that the platform offers. So under the opportunity library, you can right away start working on your RFP proposal response effort, and quickly go through that exercise. Here we recommend to populate your supplier capabilities first. So I'll just show you quickly. So here, you populate all the information about your company, core expertise as services, your team composition and resource availability, financial readiness, industry focus, etc. So it's very important that supplier would populate this information, your past performance, your primary NAICS code, etc. Right here. And then here's this is where you upload your company specific content library documents, like different write up that you have done regarding your company for putting together the RFP responses, your past performances, your previously submitted response where you have won some RFPs, RFI templates, etc. And here you can manage adding other employees or team members to have access to this platform as part of your organization. So you can also do that. So now I will just show you guys how this works. And by the way, within our platform, currently we are also bringing the opportunities from sam.gov, the federal opportunities. And we are also currently working on bringing the opportunities from state, local, city government agencies within our platform. So as a supplier, you can set your search criteria, and then it automatically shows you the opportunity that matches with your company's capability, and then you can look at those opportunities and work on responding to those opportunities as well, and putting together the response. So now I will show you guys how the platform works. So let's just work on developing this opportunity that we received from New York State for, let's say, Power Apps services. right? So here I just put this here, and I can populate all these other information. You don't have to. And then I say, because this is an external opportunity that I came across, so I downloaded the New York State opportunity documents that they had provided in here. So I select, these are the 4 documents were provided by the New York State. So I select them, and then I upload them into the platform. So the files get uploaded right here, and then I say start the AI analysis for these opportunities. So I don't even have to go through these documents manually. And what it does, it automatically summarizes what the buyer is asking for. What are the main points that I, as a supplier, need to pay attention to, and then based on that I can share it with my team member, or I can then decide whether I should bid or no bid, and we also have that capability as well. So I'll show that. And by the way, our platform is the only platform in the marketplace that caters to buyers and suppliers. And our platform unique proposition is that we have trained AI procurement models and workflow engines, and our platform is very easy to use and very adaptable, right? And also it's low cost. So right here, as you can see, it automatically go through all the buyer's document, and within seconds, not even 30 seconds, it gave me everything, all the information about what are the mandatory requirements, who is the client, what's the RFP number, what is the place of performance, what are the key positions, everything, right? And I can email that to my team members right away, or I can export that into PDF and I can share that, and it makes it so organized and so it saves me a lot of time, right? Right, instead of spending hours and hours gathering all this information, it does the job for you. And then I can say, let me start, before I do my draft generation, let me do whether I should go or no go, or bid or no bid evaluation. So based on my capability that I have specified in my account, it goes through what buyer has asked for and whether I should bid or no bid. So we'll give it a few seconds. So as you can see, instead of spending days, it brings down to putting together everything in hours. And right now, so as you can see here, right now it's saying I should not bid for this opportunity because in my company's past performance, we don't have the Power Apps expertise in particularly this kind of implementation. And it even scores it says even if I go ahead and do it, I would only score 45 out of 100. And then it gives me all these breakdown, scoring rationale. It also gives me strategic insight. What are my weakness? What is the competitive landscape? And if I decide to go or decide to bid on this thing, then I need to have this capability first. Okay. And then if I overlook this and I say, okay, regardless of that, just go ahead and generate the RFP response for me. So then I click on this, And then here it shows my content library documents here. I can select any specific document that I want to here, and it automatically shows these are the buyer documents. And I can say that use this document, and also any other document that are in my content library, and start generating the response. No, there is a, let me just go back here. Hold on, let me. So within couple minutes, it automatically generates the draft response for me. And then I can add or edit any other contents to it. I can invite somebody else in my team to collaborate. So I'll just give it a couple minutes here. So I guess while it's doing that, if somebody has any question, we can open up for any discussion. Okay, so there you go. So the document is being generated here. Oh, there is an error here right now. There's some server issue right now, so I apologize for that. But let me show you the existing one that we have on a previous RFP that we have generated. So this is the document which was generated for previously. So this is how it generates the entire response, cover letter, everything based on what the buyer has asked for and based on my capability and our content library and all those things. And I can still do green team review, red team review, and I can also do my analysis on my response, this response that is generated against the buyer's evaluation criteria. So I can also do that. I can download this draft, email it to anybody. And if this RFP that I was invited by the buyer to respond, then I can also answer some of the Q&A that was being asked by the buyer, and I can provide the responses for those buyer's question here. Okay, so now I'll just show you under the opportunities. I can filter them by whether any RFPs that I was invited by the buyer, or opportunities that I found outside of, from, let's say, some government agencies or corporation or universities, right? I can search them by that. I can invite other team members from my technical team, cost proposal team to provide the input, before I go ahead and submit the response to the buyer, or before I go ahead and finalize the response. So this is how I can manage the generation and finalizing the proposal response. And then this is where then I can see all my submitted responses that I have already submitted to the buyer. I can organize, I can access them here. I can also filter them by different status. It gives me the analytics, and this is where I can manage my creation of different user accounts for my company as part of this platform. And I can also have uh, look at all the activity logs that are happening within my organization's account by different employees, who are responsible for working on different RFPs. Okay. And our so this is on the supplier side. So I'll stop at that. And again, if you want some more detailed demo, you can always request for the demo from the website which I showed earlier. And now I'm going to show you as a buyer side. So on the buyer side, once you log in, this is where you start creating your bid or solicitation package. So here in the first, it's like a 6-step process. In first step, you enter information about your opportunity, the RFP, the what is the project description, the budget, what is the current status of the opportunity, and you can move the opportunity from one status to another, response deadline, everything. And you can also specify all these things. If you have, let's say, proposal submission due date, or you have oral presentation deadline, date that you already have, you can specify that. You can specify whether they can submit by email or through portal. And you can also specify if they supplier, before they can respond, whether they need to sign an NDA. So you can also specify that. So that is first step. In the second step, you specify the detailed scope of work for your RFP, and you can add more sections here. And then you can add any compliance requirement that you have for this particular RFP. So you can specify them here. And then you can also select, just like on the supplier side, buyer side, you also have your own content library, for putting together RFP package, right? So you can upload all those documents for your organization, whether it's the agency that you are working for or the corporate, and you can select those document, from the content library here. And then in this section, you can specify the evaluation criteria, by different, and that is also very flexible. So you can specify detailed evaluation criteria in this section. And then once you come to this section, our platform automatically, using the AI methodology and the technique, the algorithm, based on your scope of work, it automatically matches the supplier which you have uploaded, your existing supplier, and it matches them, and you can select them and you can invite them as well, for responding to these RFP. Or you can make it a open bid, so you can also do that. You can upload any documents like cost summary or any amendments or any appendix or any special notices, anything you want supplier to receive, you can upload them all here. And then in this section, you can specify any questions that you want supplier to answer, you can specify them here. And then finally, you can publish that, right? So this is how the process of creating the RFP, and that final process is done through the AI. And since we don't have much time, I'm not going to able to show you everything, but we can always, set up another session individually with your organization, and we can go in more detail. And then this is where, just like supplier capacity assessment, you can also specify what, as a buyer, you are looking for. What are your main, goals, like your procurement goals, priorities, pain points, what's your domain, and then what are the what is your RFP creation process and workflow, what are the evaluation and scoring that is important for you. So all these things you specify, and that gets used by our AI engine to help you quickly put together the package instead of spending, all, manually, all these activities, right? And then this is where I already showed you, just like on the supplier side, you can also upload document. And this is where, once the buyer submits the responses, then they all show up here, right? And then you can look at the responses, and you can use our AI platform to do the scoring. So this, we also have that capability, right? So you can use our AI capability to evaluate and score them, and you can also do the bulk evaluation as well, for all the suppliers side by side. So we have also that capability as well. So here you can do individually, or here you can do, for all the supplier who responded side by side. And then you can award the contract as well. And if you want the integration with your some existing ERP system, then we can also facilitate that with some, additional cost. But again, here in this section, for your procurement team, you can use our platform for your different branch location by department, or, and then create the employees, procurement people, employees who are working for different locations and departments, that way. And then we also give you the supplier database, where you can import your own suppliers through the import file. So let's say you already are currently working with 100 vendors, you can import them into this platform through CSV, or and then they would all show up under your my suppliers section. And then we also provide the large database of diverse suppliers that you can also search by different filter criteria and add them as your interested suppliers list. So you can also do that. And then we have also, brought some suppliers who exist in different city government agencies OEO directory as well. And same thing here, you can monitor the activity logs and all that. So this is at a very high level overview of the buyer's portal. Okay, so I will stop at that, and I think I will just open up for the question and answer. And then if you have any question on our pricing model, so then it's the pricing model, the way it works is, per RFP project it's $100, whether on the buyer side or the supplier side. And then on subscription, for supplier it's $400 a month, and you get 4 user seat license, and you get to work on 5 RFPs a month. And then for buyers it's $500 a month, and you get to work on 5 bid or solicitation, and you get 5 user seat license. And if your requirements are more, then we can do the enterprise licensing, integration, customization, etc. on the buyer side. Okay. So, I guess, Meg, do you want to open up for Q&A?
Somebody asked in the Q&A if you could share the link to the demo.
Oh yeah, sure. So it is right on here, like okay, copy link. Just how do I do that? Okay, answer live. How do I do that? Okay, hold on. Let me. Can I put it in the chat here? Yeah, I can put it in the chat.
Yes, you should be able to.
Yeah. I put it on in the chat. Okay. So that's the link to schedule the demo on Zoom, personal demo for anybody who is on the webinar today. And you can invite your team members, your employees who work for you, and my team would be more than happy to go over in more details.
All right. Well, I would like to say thank you to Manish today for going over everything that he has to offer. If anybody needs any of that information, it is currently in the chat. Manish, if you could you also put your email address into the chat just so that they could research, they can
Oh
reach you
yeah,
directly?
definitely. Yeah. Let me do that.
So as he does that, again, remember to go to emscc.com, .org, and go to our events tab to register for the events that I laid out in the beginning of this webinar. And it's just actually put in his email into the chat as well. So if you would like to get into direct contact with him, that is your direct way to get in contact. Without further ado, I'm just going to say thank you guys so much for getting on today. Thank you to Manish for presenting today. And I appreciate everybody who is on here. You all have a wonderful day. And if we do not speak again, happy holidays. Enjoy your time.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your time. And thank you, MSDC.